So it's really crazy that this year the city of Cleveland turns 216 years old and the city of Columbus turns 200. And I got a chance to work on both projects, and it's just amazing that, people only think of these cities in like these short amount of times, but they don't realize people have been here for hundreds of years. And we stand on the shoulders of those people. And so we got to make sure that the city is left, these cities are left in a better place than it was when we got it. So like, what are we doing? Hello, everybody. This is Alonzo Mitchell III, managing partner for Ohio Homecoming. I am currently in Ashland, Ohio. This is our 7th day on the walk. And so today, when I reach Mansfield, we would have been halfway to Columbus. So I appreciate everybody following us on Facebook and Twitter. We got an interesting question on Facebook, and I think it's a great post for today for vlog post number 2. And that is movement. If you were to get $1 million as a result of this walk, what would you do to help further the state of Ohio? And so we thought that was a great question. Well, first thing we do is pay some bills. We definitely have some debt just in general. Obviously, I do too. So I'd rather take the question to say if everything was paid for and then we were at even and then we had $1 million, what would we do? Well, we do two things. One, the major problem that's going on in a lot of these Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, major Ohio metropolitans are the fact that there's so many vacant properties and foreclosed properties in the cities. And so as long as you have people who live directly next to vacant, boarded up homes, then those values of those properties in that community will never elevate because those will always be comps. So why not, if you have a whole generation of young people who are currently living at home with their parents, as well as are burdened with student loan debt in the thousands and the hundreds of thousands, why not use the vacant, empty housing stock to then also help this new generation to be able to not have as many bills so they can begin to pay down on their debt? Now, what we would do with that $1 million is first create a community center for young people, the movement, people who are between the ages of 22 and 40, because if you think about it right now, if between the ages of 22 and 40 and you don't have an office, where do you take someone to meet? You got to go to a coffee shop. Right now, if you are a young professional and you need to get resources or you have a meeting in general, the only place that people really can meet and network is currently at bars. But I think there's another place that can be built in just about any dilapidated area that will cause young people to come. And then once young people are in a community, that community will immediately change anyway because of the energy. So first, we need a community center, a location where all of our services and where we can congregate and work together. That's first. Secondly, wherever you put that building, you also need to have housing around the building. There's plenty of vacant properties in a lot of these communities. So if the cities are giving them away or giving them away for $1, in order to rehab a house, you only need two factors. You need the actual supplies, toilets, paint, and you need the labor. Where anyone who knows about the movement knows we've done extreme rehab. We painted Martin Luther King High School and rehabbed that school, extreme rehab that school. And so we know that with 450 volunteers, we can rehab an entire school in 24 hours. So imagine if we had that same amount of volunteer help and assistance, how many homes could we rehab and put young people and college graduates in the near term, which would also spike all of the homes in that area as well as give it a whole new fresh energy. So with that $1 million, I would try to rehab a building for a community center for young people, and wherever that community is, where we put that community center, we rehab about 10 or 15 homes and put people in them so that instead of having to pay a mortgage bill, they can use those dollars that they would typically pay for living expenses towards paying their debt down. And then once you have a generation who isn't as debt ridden, then that generation can begin to prepare the cities and the spaces for the next generation. I will see y'all at Mansfield. If you know Oprah, Tyler Perry, LeBron James, or any of these people who have $1 million, or even if you know someone in the political frame, you know they're spending $2 billion on this election. If we just had one half of 1% of what they're putting into trying to get us to get out and vote, if we just took those dollars and actually put it into the community and invested it in young people, then a lot of the ills that are facing our community probably wouldn't be there. This is Alonzo Mitchell III in Ashland, Ohio, heading to Mansfield, signing out. I'll see you soon.